What is the most horrifying thing someone has ever done to their own child? Vanessa married my brother Tobias 5 years ago. Their son Luca was diagnosed with a severe form of childhood epilepsy right after his 4th birthday in October. His pediatric neurologist prescribed a strict daily regimen of an anticonvulsant called zonisamide. For the first 2 months, Luca was seizure-free. Then, around late January, the breakthroughs started. Luca was constantly having absent seizures, staring blankly at the wall for minutes at a time, and occasionally suffering full grand mal episodes. The neurologist told Vanessa they needed to monitor his blood levels because the medication clearly wasn't synthesizing right. Vanessa smiled and nodded in the clinic, but later told Tobias that Big Pharma was a scam and the pills were making Luca worse. Tobias defended her. He always deferred to her judgment. "I am Luca's aunt, and I picked him up from preschool every Tuesday and Thursday. Every week, he looked more exhausted. Dark circles formed under his eyes. His hands constantly shook. By mid-March, Luca had lost 4 pounds and could barely focus on his coloring books. I begged Tobias to seek a second opinion. He snapped at me, insisting Vanessa was consulting a highly rated naturopath online and reading holistic journals. The breaking point arrived the week before Luca's mandatory 6-month neurology scan. I drove over to their house in the Austin suburbs at 6:15 a.m. on a Saturday to borrow their carpet cleaner before a weekend party. Vanessa didn't know I had the garage keypad code. I walked through the mudroom and stopped dead in my tracks. Vanessa was sitting at the kitchen island under the pendant lights. I watched her methodically twist open Luca's prescribed zonisamide capsules, dump the medical powder into a coffee mug, and refill the clear shells with pure baking soda from a yellow box. Withdrawing epilepsy meds cold turkey can cause a fatal continuous seizure. Refilling them with baking soda was sheer deception. She was poisoning his recovery. I pulled out my phone and recorded a crisp 2-minute video from the shadows of the hallway. I bypassed Tobias entirely. I texted the video directly to his phone, with a message telling him to meet me at the Texas Children's Hospital emergency room, or I was calling the police myself. Tobias arrived an hour later, carrying a groggy Luca in his arms. He looked completely shattered. The ER triage nurses rushed Luca to the back. A toxicology and drug level panel confirmed Luca's blood had absolutely zero trace of anticonvulsants, but his sodium levels were dangerously erratic. The hospital social worker immediately notified the Austin Police Department. While we sat in the waiting room, a detective ran Vanessa's fingerprints. That is when the truth broke wide open. Vanessa had legally changed her last name in 2018. Before she met my brother, she was a licensed veterinary technician in Portland, Oregon. She had her license permanently revoked and barely escaped jail time for stealing high-grade pet narcotics, replacing them with saline solution, and letting animals suffer agonizing post-surgical pain so she could sell the drugs to a local dealer. She had fled the state to avoid civil lawsuits. She was applying the exact same tampering to her own child. Full story on the channel, link below.